PSP or I don't know what. We're definitely open there because we feel like people are already protected since it's consensual. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
No, yeah, definitely. No, that's great.
Now, you're talking about consensual PvP and whatnot. Is it possible? I'm gonna ask a couple questions, and I'm asking a couple parts. And so, first question being, is there going to be multiple servers or just one server?
We're gonna start off with one, and we're gonna see how that goes. I honestly am sometimes torn on. I've played both types of games. Games with different servers, games where they have one, and then you go to certain areas and get divided into shards, like EVE Online. And I see the merits of the EVE Online style. If we get to a size, right now we're leaning towards shards. The reason I lean that way is I kind of like the fact that each shard or each server, whatever, can develop its own community, and a certain clan can be the big shot clan there, and then another clan somewhere else can be the big shot clan, and somebody can be known as the quote best tank on the server here, and another guy can be the best healer over there. I kind of like that. I like that there's the ability for more people to be able to shine, whereas if you have one Uber server, there's only one, so
Right.
It's kind of rough. Some of this is a technological question, but I don't think it's a huge technological question. I think things have gotten to the point now where technologically you can do either one almost as easily. I think it's more now a question of game design, and I think as we stand now, I lean more towards having servers. Also, then different servers can have different rule sets. We could have a server that's like, look, when you PvP, this is a serious PvP server. If you, first of all, if you run into someone at the world, you can maybe forcibly challenge them to a PvP battle. And then if you die, well then, you lose something huge and they gain something huge. We could have a server like that. So that's the other benefit of servers, is you can have different rule sets. And we would actually, because of our background, we wouldn't mind having a true roleplay server, not the BS roleplay servers that MMOs have, where all that really means is they check the names. They don't let Drizzt onto the server or, something else. We wouldn't mind having a true roleplay server where it's like even more events and, more, even some enforcement of global chat channels that you're staying in character, assuming there was demand there. So I definitely think we're leaning towards the server division.
Now, straight up, everyone, I'm calling it now. If there's a straight up RP server, St. Killjoy, the Poke Wrangler, is taken. I'm telling you all that right now. I am the Poke Wrangler. That's taken. I'm taking it. It's mine.
No, I definitely like the idea of shards. I'll have to agree. I mean, a lot of my stuff goes back to the past, and that's probably because those are the games that stick most in your memory. Is when you first got into the gaming, and they made the biggest impact because it was new, and everything. Like I go back and I say it was a carbon copy, but the thing that I did like, I would have to agree, is the shards or the server communities. They were different. You could go on a different server and it was a totally different feel. You could go on one and you could be kind of considered the bad guy, or you could even play different roles. And like you said, different rule sets. You could have a hardcore PvP roleplay server or whatever the people want. So that definitely is good to hear as well. So.
Yeah, I think I obviously I agree. So let's just keep agreeing. Well, my wife and I, we both played tons of Dark Age of Camelot. Love Dark Age of Camelot. We played Midgard on the Percival server, and had so much fun. But one thing that was really cool is then we were really hardcore PvPers. We had a really good 8-man gank squad and stuff like that. But when they opened Nimue, which was the third RP server, a bunch of people that we used to PvP against, like from both Albion and Hibernia, like we all went on to Nimue and made a guild, and we would all play together, kind of, just not all the time, but just every now and then. But that was really cool because it's like on our main server we were enemies and we'd run around trying to kill each other and figure out strategies how to beat each other.
Exactly.
But then we could pop on a Nimue and be buddies, and I think it made it less negative, like how negative PvP is nowadays with MOBAs and stuff like that. So then when you were fighting them, you were far less likely to just, lose your, lose your mind because you're like, all right, well, Joe just killed me, damn it. Well, tomorrow, maybe we'll play together and he'll help me out.
And I definitely agree, and yeah, I mean that's exactly it, man. Because I played Midgard, and I played on the Merlin server with the Dark Arcane. So yeah, it was good times. And whenever I would cross realm or go somewhere else, or not really cross realm, but go somewhere else and play at a different aspect with the people I'd fight against, it was fun, And then, like you said, it wasn't the type of bad attitude that people have nowadays, and you suck or get on, what the middle word was there, or it's that I'll say it again, that cancerous society that keeps growing, and I hated it. And no, this sounds like it promotes the good communities that I miss.
Yeah, you're talking to a group of people that loved Dark Age of Camelots, by the way.
Yeah, well, that's cool. Yeah, like I've actually in the last few years I've gotten to know Mark Jacobs just through other colleagues and stuff like that, which has always been cool because I love that game so much. I mean, it's one of my top 5 favorite games of all time. Played it so much, it's ridiculous. I'm really excited for their new game, but in a way I'm worried because it's like if Dark Age of Camelot was brand new today, I would suck. Because I don't have the time that I had then. It's like that time of my life will never exist again, which in a way just makes Dark Age even more special to me because it's like not only was that game special at the time, but it was the perfect time of my life for that game to exist. I didn't have kids, but I had my wife, so it was like I wasn't having to date. I didn't have that distraction, And I love to play with my wife. I would play every MMO. I always play a warrior, and she plays a healer. And it was so much fun. And it is kind of like a perfect slice of time that could never happen again, which just makes it extra cool.
And the thing that I'm getting excited about is that here recently I've went back to the turn-based and the things that I really hadn't tried much of before, and I really like it. I mean, it's a different game style altogether, and I was just saying that to a friend of mine not too long ago. You really don't see an MMO that's turn-based or an MMO that's like a Diablo layout or something like that, to say any names, or not that I'd say anything there, but just different types of styles. It seems that everything's either third person or first person. It's going back to the same mix mash, but this looks different, and I'm all for different. I think that's what keeps me interested, and I like the idea of how you can set up your matches to go, as far as 24 hours or whatnot. Because as we grow as adults and have more, responsibility, it'll give us time to still enjoy the moments and, have fun with it and actually deal with real life as well. So, yeah, I'm digging it. I'm really digging it.
Yeah, that screen capture feature, is that going to be running like asynchronous?
You mean the character snapshot?
Yeah, is that kind of like going to be, like, for example, there are multiplayer games and whatnot. You can either run them live or run them asynchronous, and so I'm just kind of curious if it's going to be asynchronous from the way you're describing.
I mean, in a way, yeah. If you have a PvP battle, as long as you set the turn timer long enough, it is basically an asynchronous PvP battle because, let's say you set it to 12 hours. Well, you make your move and you click, you do whatever you're going to do. You move around, you attack, and you're done. Well, now the next guy's got 12 hours to make his move, and then by the time he makes his, you've got 12 hours to make yours. Like I said, assuming you've agreed on that. So in a way, that is very asynchronous. And in fact, that's one of the benefits of the turn-based combat as well. Is since it's not real time, it totally smooths over problems with things like lag and latency and stuff like that. And people, you remember in Daok, people lagging their client so that it would rubber band, and so you'd think they were somewhere and then they wouldn't be there, and all kinds of cheesy stuff that people figure out. In a turn-based game, because it is slightly asynchronous, you don't have those kind of problems.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's always going to be a cheese factor. Always. And I hate
Yeah,
that.
that's unavoidable.
Here's a question or a bit of a concern I have regarding while the snapshot long-drawn PvP aspect for, say, I start a PvP match or start a duel with Torpid here, and then real life occupies me. Well, we agreed on 12, 24 hours, so I've got plenty of time to come back and do the next turn. That's beautiful. I like that concept. You can also play the game, the rest of the game, while you're doing PvP.
Exactly.
So then doesn't that mean it's possible to level up after you started a PvP match?
But
It
you
totally,
screenshot.
it totally is
right?
possible. But yeah, that's the beauty of the snapshot. So it takes a snapshot of your character, like level 12, I've got this exact gear, you know what I mean? And then that's the snapshot. That's the version of your character that you will be playing throughout that whole PvP battle. Let's say that PvP fight, let's say it's like two tanks, and they're just wet noodling each other, and it takes 2 weeks for that battle to resolve itself. And in the meantime, you're playing every day, and you're level 26 by the time the battle's over. It doesn't matter because it's the level, I can't remember what I said, 11 or 12. That other version of you is the only one that's playing in that PvP fight. So that snapshot means that the integrity of the PvP battle is never affected by all the other cool stuff that you're doing out in the, quote, real world.
So if there's rewards, will it scale if you level because it took so long, or will you get something like you'll be level 28 and you'll just get some level 10 item from way back in the day?
Yeah, it would definitely scale. And in fact, that's why the way XP works, and we're probably only going to display XP as a bar rather than a number, because when I explain this, we used this in a game. We made a text mud that was like going to be a sequel to Threshold, and we closed it down after like 6 months because it was kind of just dividing our community, and then we just took tons of the code from that game and put it in Threshold. But one of the things we did, and we're doing in Stash, is if you kill a monster that's the same, basically the same level as you get 100 XP. If you're level 10 and you kill level 10 monster,
You there?
100 XP. If you're level 78 and you kill level 78 monster, 100 XP. Now, if it's, a certain percentage higher than you, or if it's like, a boss mob that has multipliers to it and stuff like that, maybe it's worth 400. But the benefit of that is, yeah, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, no, it's cool. It cut out for a second, but
Hello?
it's all good. I've got you.
Cool.
Keep going.
Yes. So since the value is the same, now as you go up in levels, it might be more expensive in XP to gain a level. But since you're always earning 100 XP for an equal level mob, well then winning a PvP battle, if it's level 10 and let's say the reward is 1,000 XP or something like that, even if you are level 20 by the time it ends, that 1,000 XP is just as valuable to you because it represents 10 kills. Just like it did if you were lower level. So, and I don't know if we would do game-generated item rewards, like as far as loot. We would probably be more likely to give things like resources and stuff like that are also universally valuable, so that we don't have to kind of worry about that kind of issue.
Right.
Well, have you also thought about things of like once you, or I don't even know, is there a max level? I guess is one question. I guess the other question would be, and if there is, how would you continue to progress your character? Different abilities you would pick up from, either PvP fights or whatever it may be. Is it just gear that you're going to be? Because I do know that its name is Stash, but is there like maybe picking up abilities or something like that later on?
Tentatively, the max level is 100, but I would say we're about 50-50, no level cap. Threshold has no level cap. And it wouldn't surprise me if we end up going ahead and it's a little scary, but it wouldn't surprise us if we go ahead and go for that. All of our games are not super in-game focused. You know what I mean? Like, I think that I don't have a problem with games that are in-game focused. I've loved some, but I think sometimes we've gotten to a point now where games are so in-game focused, it's like the rest of the game is irrelevant, so it's like, why even have it? So Stash is not super in-game focused, so if that's the case, then maybe we don't need a level cap. because we're going to have things like sidekicking. Like, say you have a buddy, say you're level 78 and your buddy's level 12, you can sidekick him up to 77, and all